This episode of Beyond the Heavy is sponsored by Pedro. What's up, Pedro? Thanks, man. Love you. All right, all right. We're here with Niko. What's up, brother? From Powerhouse. Bad name already, immediately. Best bad name ever. You beat us. I was like, fuck, I could take out Burning Legion, and I'm like, fuck, let me put Powerhouse.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So Nico, where do you want to start, brother? I heard you guys' stuff, very, very old school, thrash, fast to the point, punching you in the face. More of these young cats doing the old school stuff. I love it. Talk to me.
All right, well, just a quick introduction. My name's Niko Valez. I am the frontman and guitar player for Powerhouse. I guess you could say that we started in 2016 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but we've had quite a few lineup changes in the past few years, and we recently just moved to San Antonio, Texas, where we live now. And I would say that we're reformed in 2023. We've had like a few lineup changes. Life happens. Sometimes it's difficult to find serious players. That's how it is in this game. It's very difficult. More serious you get, you know what I mean? It's hard to find those kind of people. So we decided to come and make the trek out here to San Antonio, which is about 11 hours away from where I'm from, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we made that leap because we felt like Albuquerque and New Mexico in general was, how do you say, we felt like we were caged.
Okay.
And how things are out there, especially since the whole pandemic happened, it put a lid on a lot of the entertainment out there.
Okay.
And we figured, are we going to take this to the next level, or are we just going to have this as a side thing? You know what I mean? And push came to shove, and we realized that no, we have something special here, and we need to take it to the next level. So we made the move back in November, which is, I don't know, maybe 10 months ago, something like that.
Okay.
And ever since then, it's been hitting the ground running, and it's been nothing but great things, to be honest with you.
Oh, nice, nice, dude, nice, yeah. So, like, when you say caged, right? Are we saying like there's not too much of a scene over there? We're maybe not enough metal exposure. Like, talk to me about that.
It's a few different things, to be honest with you. It has a lot to do with the population. New Mexico isn't nearly as big as Texas is. New Mexico is, I would say, New Mexico is a good place to live for certain things, and it does have its fair share of good entertainment. But when it comes to metal, it's just not there. The audience isn't there. Like, it's very big with rap, very big with cultural Hispanic music and country.
Yeah.
That stuff thrives there. But when it comes to metal, and especially the traditional style that we play, there's not really an audience for it. And due to the fact the pandemic really put a damper on a lot of the venues that were here. So, I mean, that we're in Albuquerque. So the places to play really just got cut into pieces. So
because it could have been, instead of being a metal band, we could have been like a cumbia band or ranchero band. It would have been Power Casa, right? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, yeah. Power Casa, man. Yeah, no, but okay. So that makes sense, coming over here, trying to find an audience, right? Because you guys got the passion. I mean, one thing I really like about you guys is not only it's the old school stuff, but you guys got the look, right? In the very, like, when I saw you guys, I was like, I took a double take. I was like, wait, are these young cats or what? What's going on? Was this in the 80s? Oh shit, this is new. And I love that.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that compliment, because for us, when it comes to the kind of metal that we play, I mean, I take the approach that my heroes took back when they were my age. Like my favorite band ever is Metallica. I mean,
Okay.
a lot of people know that, but I mean, my favorite band is Metallica, and they were inspired by the 70s movement
Yep.
of rock and metal, like Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Tigers Pantang, Motorhead, all of that. And it was about attitude. It was
Yep.
about like the way they played mixed with the way they looked, mixed
Yep.
with the way that they presented themselves on stage and the energy that they had. And in my view of how metal and rock has been for the past couple of decades, in my view, it seems like a lot of the lust was lost, I guess you could
Okay.
say.
Okay.
The appearance aspect of it, and the in specific genres, the attitude. It just kind of felt like it became less about the show and just more about technicality.
Mm.
And
Okay.
when we formed the band, I'm currently the only original member of the band.
Oh, gotcha.
Our drummer Tony, we just met in back in December. He's 19 years old, a killer drummer,
Oh,
and
okay.
we met him here in San Antonio, and he's here to stay with us. And Gio is filling in on bass at the moment. We had to part ways with our previous bassist of
Ah,
5 years.
it's always the basis, huh? It's always the
Yeah.
basis.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but he when we moved out here, I think he wanted a completely different life path
Mm.
than what he saw coming for the band.
Mhm.
And he started to feel a little bit pressured. So I think that he decided, you know what, this isn't for me anymore. Have it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and it's always good, and having those adult conversations, right? Those effective, mature conversations. Like, hey, man, I just can't, and that's cool. Everybody's got their thing, man. Everybody's got to. If they want to do something in their life, that's what it's about, man. But I'm glad that hey, you're keeping it strong. That you're finding some of these cats that are like, hey, let's rock.
yeah, I mean, like, we're as much about the music as we are as into the look, you know what I mean? Because this is for us, me and Tony especially, we're fairly young. I'm 25 and he's 19,
Mm, mm,
and we grew up on, the 80s music and the 70s stuff, and we're very into the underground metal scene, and anything from Metallica to Exodus to Overkill to Fueled by Fire, and any of the underground thrash or heavy bands that
yeah.
really made it out, you know what I mean? And there's something about it that triggered like a sense in us that we don't want to just be some guys playing some fast stuff on stage. We
Mm,
want to be the guys that when you go and see us live, that you're like, oh shit, these
yeah, yeah.
guys mean what they say and they say what they mean.
Mhm, mhm.
So that's kind of where we're at, man. It's all about the passion for us. So we
Mhm.
wouldn't be doing it if we didn't love it.
Yeah, no, exactly, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really good it's refreshing, right? That's what it is to me. Because I grew up on the same thing you guys grew up on. You know what I mean? And the Metallicas, the Megadeths, the classic stuff that people kind of forgotten about, right? Is that kind of safe to say? Like, and that's not to harp on any band or anything. The new stuff is new stuff. That's cool, But I love how, even young cats like yourself, you're like, you know what? Hey, but we still got the old school stuff, dude. Let's remember that.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, yeah, yeah, yeah.
In
But
an
I mean,
age,
yeah.
I'll go for it.
Oh, no, no, go. No, you're good.
No,
Mhm.
I was just saying, like, in an age of it, we created the band because, in long story short, we felt like metal was missing something.
Mm,
And what I felt like it was missing was the live human aspect of it.
mm,
A lot of music, regardless of the genre, I mean, pop, rock, country, rap, whatever it is now, it just doesn't seem human sometimes.
mm,
It seems
mm.
like it's like a machine that's going and somebody programmed it and set it on Spotify. And it may sound good to your ear, like the audio may sound great, but in the end, there's a lot of the music where I'm like, am I gonna remember this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then for us, it's not about how technical we can get or how fast we can get or how crazy the lyrics are. It's just about, do we like what we're playing? Yeah. We want to play and we want to write things that we don't hear other people doing at the moment. And that's where we're at. It's one of those where like, we could be considered a thrash band. We could be considered a heavy metal band. We could be considered a hard rock band. It just depends on the song.
Yeah, yeah. I was hearing that, man, because I was hearing, your top song on Spotify, Rage Brain, the Patriot, the and the thing I like about it is, but it's got a powerhouse sound. You know what I mean? Like it could fall in any of those genres, but at the end of the day, it's heavy. Right. It's still punching you in the face. That's what I like about it. Yeah. Yeah. But what I want to ask you, what is the creative process, right? How does Niko's approach to the guitar? How do we write songs? Talk to me about that.
A lot of it now, our drummer, Tony, is one of the, he's a pretty big driving force now.
Gotcha.
Because prior to me meeting Tony, a lot of the songwriting was mainly myself.
Okay.
And with Tony, he gives an immense amount of input, and his input is, it clicks. I don't know. Have you ever played with somebody and there's not like, that doesn't sound right. Let's just continue. And then it takes like an hour or two and you're like, I don't think it's going to.
Yeah.
And that's not how it feels. It's like when we are in the same room and we play, it's one of those, like, he can hop on in whatever part of a random riff that I'm in, and I can hop in on whatever beat that he throws. For some reason, it just works. And when it comes to the actual like start of the process of writing the songs, I would say it all comes down to the riff. For me in particular, for this band, it's very guitar driven.
Yeah.
And it's very rhythm driven. We've made it a point that there's thousands of metal bands, thousands of them. And these thousands of metal bands are guitar virtuosos. They're just insane. These guys and these girls are so talented, and it's very difficult for you to stand above the rest. And for us, we decided that maybe it's best if there's not like a 3-minute drum solo or a 4-minute guitar solo or some crazy thing with the vocals. It's not us trying to one up each other in terms of what's in the song. It's about how the song feels as a whole altogether. So usually I'll come up with a guitar riff and I'll be like, well, that sounds cool. Let me record it in my voice memo on my phone really quick, and I'll save it for a time.
Hold on, sorry. Do you do the thing where do you like play the guitar and you record it on your phone, or are you like shakatagan?
It's both. It's
okay, because I do that too. I'm like, oh fuck, I got this riff. Or I'm like, all right, shakatan. Like, exactly.
It's the same thing. Like when I have my guitar handy, I'll just put the iPhone right by the speaker, and then it becomes that. And then if I'm at work or something, I'll go quietly sneak to the bathroom or to the back or something, and then I'll just hum it out, whatever melody I have in my head. But it all starts with the riff, and riff ends up becoming whatever it becomes. I try not to think too much about it, because I've been in places where I'm like, I want to write something really crazy. And I end up sitting there for like days on end being like, what the fuck?
Wait, you feel like you're almost like you're wasting time, huh? You're like, damn, like, dude, that's not me. I'm not writing that. That sounds weird. Yeah.
But if I just pick up the guitar, clear my head, and I'm like, let me just play something, anything. Usually what comes out is something that I'm like, okay, that's going to be in the song. But if I start to think too much about it, then I'm like, nah, I gotta trash this.
Yeah, no, and that's a talent, dude. Because me, I'm a stickler, and then the guys in Legion will know, like, okay, Matt, you've fucked around too much with the bass. Like,
Yeah.
bring it back. You know what I mean? And I get what you're saying, because you're like, dude, that's not you anymore, right? You let the riff go too far, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it doesn't even sound like you. Where you got to be like, hey, are you grooving to it? Yes, cool, awesome, let's go. Right? Don't think like, oh, I should have been in this key, or maybe I should have done a pitch harmonic over here. Like, dude,
Yeah.
like, who gives a shit? Like, just go.
And you start to get stuck in the technicalities, and then it kind of bogs the process down. So you're just like, you know what? Let's start here. If I don't like it along the way, who says it has to stay that way?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's not recorded yet. It's not out. You know what I mean? Like I can mess with it until we're happy with it. And it starts with a riff, and then I start to get a little bit of the song structure. Then before the song is 100% finished, I try to get the drums in so that, because you can have a guitar riff, and when you add the drums, it changes the cadence, it changes everything about it, and what you thought it was isn't going to be what it is in the end. So I'm like, let's start out with the riff, like a decent couple minutes chunk of the song, and then add the drums, and then we'll go from there. And that's usually how the process goes. And the vocals usually come last after I get all the structure down.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Want to jump in really quick to tell about one of my favorite brands and my brothers over at Heavy Defender Merch. Heavy Defender Merch products are a must-have for any heavy metal fan. Their banners, pins, and apparel is made from high-quality materials that feature bold, eye-catching designs that are truly to capture the essence of the metal lifestyle. The shirts are comfortable and durable as hell, man. The hoodies are perfect for when you're leaving the whiskey and it's fucking 2 o'clock in the morning, it's cold as shit. Heavy Defenders offers a great selection of products for any metalhead looking to represent their passion in freaking style. With unique designs and quality material, hey, check out HDM. Okay, and that's kind of a unique way, because some bands are kind of reverse, some bands do that, but for the most part, bands that I've kind of interviewed and talked to, they're like, hey, no, we do the bass first, or we'll do the lyrics first, or we'll do the drums first. But you're like, no, I got the riff first. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Which is cool, which is great, because everybody's got their own method to their madness, right? So that's great. But when it comes to vocals, right, when it comes to singing, when it comes to lyrics, what's your approach? Because that's a completely different animal, right? Because you're like, hey, I got to do the music stuff, but I got to do the vocal stuff too. I got to do the lyrics. Talk to me about that. What's the process for that?
So that's very interesting, because I'm actually I just started singing 3 years ago.
Oh,
And
okay.
not even the original vocalist. So our very first EP that came out in 2017, Adrenaline, has a different vocalist on it. His name was Luke Peterson, and he was only in the band during that time that we recorded the EP. But after that, for about a year, I don't know how we did it, but we did it. We survived as an instrumental band in the scene.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We were trying desperately to find vocalists that fit the kind of music that we were aiming for. And anybody that we tried out, it just didn't fit. And we were like, well, we got to keep playing. I mean, this is what we want to do for the rest of our lives. We got to keep playing regardless. So we just kept playing. And after a while, we started to be like, we can't just continue on with no vocals. Come on, we have to do something.
Yeah.
And I had to do it. I had to step in and do the vocals. And so if you listen to The Patriot, The Patriot was released in 2019, and my very first vocal track is that song. So
Okay.
if you listen to The Patriot and you listen to our Weight of the World EP, the vocals sound drastically different, and that's because I learned how to sing.
Oh, okay.
But during that recording process, I only sung for 4 or 5 days before I did the vocal take on that song.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
More power to see, like, you got the balls to do it, dude. I'm gonna be real with you. You got the balls to do it.
Appreciate that.
Because I can't fucking do it, dude. Like, for the life of me. They're like,
Mhm.
oh, do you sing on Burning Leech? I'm like, fuck no, I don't do that. Hell no, man.
Yeah, it's
Because there's
hard,
like,
man.
it's hard, dude. It's really hard. And like finding the melody, trying to
Mhm.
fit it. Like, dude, kudos to you, brother. Because
Yeah, I
and to
appreciate.
play guitar, oh fuck, like
Yeah, and that's a whole different animal because singing, learning how to sing in itself is difficult, and then learning how to sing and then play guitar, a
mhm.
whole nother animal, and then playing proficiently, that's on another one.
Yeah, dude.
So it's how I started it, was I'm just an avid music listener, man. I like listening to music regardless of the genre. I mean, I really don't care what people think anymore. I listen to anything from rock or metal to country to even house music sometimes, like the indie
Oh,
pop.
nice, nice.
For some reason, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I like it. It's legit music.
Hey, no,
Um,
no, there's no such thing as guilty pleasures, man. If you
yeah.
like it, you like it, brother. That's all it is,
And
man.
I grew up on country.
Oh, okay, okay,
Both my parents were big into country, and I grew up on Brooks and Dunn, George Strait, Reba, all the big country artists from the 80s and 90s.
okay.
So I liked the way that they voice in country songs.
Okay.
And my favorite band is Metallica.
Hmm.
And James Hetfield's voice, if you really pick it apart, he's like a country singer that's metal. If you really think about it, in some way, I may be going out on a limb and saying that,
Yeah,
but there are some tracks where you're like, if this was like a bluegrass band and you just
I
took,
could kind of see it. I could kind
yeah,
of see it. Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. You're
there's
like
some
maybe some
similarity.
tracks, yeah, some tracks like especially like the load and reload stuff.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely.
especially load and reload era.
Yeah, like that stuff, yeah, where even maybe a little bit of the Saint Anger tracks, maybe some of them, right? But yeah, I totally see what you're saying with that. Yeah.
So what I wanted to do was I wanted to like being somebody that's just kind of thrown into singing like that.
Mm.
I wanted to develop my own style. I didn't want to just straight copy somebody else's vocal style. So I started singing after I recorded The Patriot. I just hunkered down over the past 3 years and decided this is my favorite song, favorite song, favorite song, favorite song from different artists from
Hmm.
genres that have nothing to do with metal. And I tried to sing them.
Oh,
I
nice, nice.
over and over and over again. My wife will fucking tell you flat out um, that I would sing Toby Keith. I would sing Tuesdays Gone by Leonard Skinner. I
Ah,
would,
that's a
you know,
great song. That's a great song. Love that
just
song.
trying to get my voice to be powerful like I hear those
Yeah,
voices.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I tried to get the grit in my voice, and it's on the Patriot, you'll notice like it's fairly clean and it sounds like I'm struggling. And it's
Mm,
because I was at the time. It was my very
mm.
first vocal take. And I'll get to that here in a little bit.
Okay, okay.
But because there's something coming. But when we recorded Weight of the World last year, I had 2 years of singing under my belt that I didn't have before.
Mm.
And I was able to get my best vocal performance that I could do at the time. And I
Mhm.
just pushed myself over and over. I would sing over and over till I was pretty much lost my voice every night
Ugh,
just to be able
man,
to
that's tough. That's a
have
tough one, dude.
confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough because I mean when you blowing out your vocals and stuff like that, but I mean, oof, and then you got to drink some tea and the honey and all that stuff. Like,
You
oh
know
God,
what really
yeah.
helps for vocals? There's a product that you can buy at music shops, or Guitar Center has it too. It's called Vocal Ease. It's a
Mm,
small little spray bottle, and it has
mm.
honey and echinacea.
Oh, nice. Okay, right on.
And you just spray that into your throat a couple of times before you sing, and
Yeah.
it loosens up your vocal cords.
Oh, no way.
It coats your throat so that when you're doing harsh vocals, you
Yeah.
don't get that really bad scratchy feeling. You know what I mean?
Ah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Um,
Yeah. And
so
and it's funny because it's all technique, huh? Like
yeah,
it really see, then that was one of the things like when I was looking into vocals, like, never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
it
so
breaks
cool
it
that
down.
way sometimes.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the lyrics, um, as much as I'm a guitar player, in some ways, me being the singer is a blessing in disguise because I have a lot of thought that I never get out, that just stay inside of my head. And um, I am many things, but a bad linguist is not one of them.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm pretty good with English, like literature.
Okay.
And so I like being able to put my thoughts into paper. So I figured if I'm singing now, instead of writing down my thoughts and it going nowhere, just in my notes in my phone, why don't I just use that for lyrics?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the best lyrics come from in here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's not just some shit that you're making up just to please an audience. It's something that you really feel deep inside. So I'm on that journey. Who knows where that's going to take me, but that's where I'm at right now is the riffs, the drums, the instrumentation comes first in the song, and then I'll sit back and listen to the arrangement and be like, all right, what should I talk about? You know,
Hmm.
what should I get into here? And I'll take a thought and I'll be like, here's the topic. Let's form some kind of story. And
Yeah.
whatever it becomes, it becomes.
Okay. And so you like listening to it, like, okay, let me groove to it. Let me find
Yeah.
out what's going on. How is it speaking to me? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great, man. That's great. Yeah. And I mean, I know, again, a different method to the madness, man. I love it. Right. Because then, there's people that will write lyrics first and like, no, okay, we'll do that, or is
Yeah.
this song has to be dark or this song has to be ta 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 all the time, and it's like,
Yeah.
hey man, like, like, okay, like let's try to something else. Like, let me hear what the singer has to say and let me hear, the music. Yeah, I love it,
Yeah.
man. I love it. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, so I gotta do a segment for the gearheads, man, because I gotta ask you, dude. Okay, we 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 do injection. If I'm looking at your pictures correctly,
Yes, sir.
that's my boy. What Jackson we rocking with, brother?
Okay.
Is it Rhodes or talk to me? What are
Yeah.
we doing for gear?
So I have three main guitars. I have two Jackson Rhodes and one Epiphone Flying V.
Okay.
Um, I have one
Are they
Epiphone.
with you or no?
I have the Epiphone in the
Let me see.
back of
Okay, okay.
it
Oh,
right there.
nice, nice. There she
Yeah,
is. Nice.
but that's my newest addition.
Okay.
But my longtime standing guitar is a Jackson Rhodes JS32 that
Mm,
I bought with what little money I had when I was 14.
mhm, mhm.
And I my parents helped me pay for it at Guitar Center,
Okay.
and I bought it. It was my first crazy shaped guitar. I always wanted a Rhodes V. One, because Kirk Hammett is my idol,
Okay.
and he was notorious for playing the Rhodes V's in the 80s. And
Yeah.
then Randy Rhodes.
Yeah.
Randy Rhodes is one of the best guitar players of all time, and to
Yeah.
own a signature guitar like that, to me, it felt like it would bring me to a new level. So I bought that, and then I modded it later with different pickups and accessories. But
Frankenstein it.
yeah, I played it.
Yeah.
And my second go-to guitar is my white Jackson RRX 24.
Okay.
And I also modded that too. I bought it off a friend from a job I used to work several years ago. It was in terrible condition, set up
Ah,
poorly. He was like, here, it's got massive fret buzz. I don't play it anymore. $150, it's yours. And I'm like, all right.
okay.
I bought it. I quickly realized there's a lot of problems with it. And then I go to look it up and I'm like, this is a $900 guitar. I just looked
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, dude, you're lucky, dude. And
Yeah.
dude, as a bass player,
Uh,
like I want a Rhodes. You know what I mean? Like that's like if they ever in Jackson, if they
yep.
ever make a Mayhem signature, dude, or the Nico signature, I already know they're gonna be
Yeah.
Rhodes. You know what I mean?
They
Right?
need that. They need
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
I I got that guitar. I fixed it up. I also modded it. I removed the standard Jackson pickups and put Seymour Duncan Invaders
Oh,
into it.
nice. Are those active or they're passive?
They're passive.
Oh, okay, cool.
So my JS32 has the EMG headset, the James Hetfield signature
Oh,
pickups.
nice.
And my RRX 24 has the Duncans in it. And for a while, I was an EMG guy
Okay.
because who doesn't like the bite and the gain that it gives you?
Oh, dude, the mids are so crunchy.
Yep. And
It's like,
then
oh my God.
I put in those invaders, and I have
Oh,
to
okay.
tell you that my mind changed. I
Uh-huh.
like EMG. I
Mhm.
like active pickups. They sound cool, but there's something about the warmth in the Seymour Duncan Invader
Mhm.
that I've played different guitars. I've played quite a few different guitars that I obviously don't own, but I played them through different amps.
Mhm.
The invaders, regardless of the guitar, kick ass in almost any metal setting ever.
Okay.
Black and cleans, but they're really, really great in the distortion channel.
Okay.
Now, the Epiphone V I have back here, that one's my newest addition, and it's competing for my favorite between that and the
I mean, okay, but like look wise, I know you're going to the roads. Let's just be real. The
yeah.
look wise, but sound wise, Epiphone. All right, cool.
Yeah, sound wise, I do think that the wood on the Epiphone V is better quality.
Yeah.
So it breathes through the amp a lot more organically than my other two Rhodes do.
Mhm.
But all three of them sound ridiculous through my rig. It just depends.
Yeah, it really depends, man, because even as bass, like you still want that warm, you still want the heavy, right? And
Yeah,
that's the one thing that like guitar players and bass players, we could kind of meet in the middle. Like, dude, it's got to sound warm, it's got to sound good. Cut in the
yeah.
mix, cut in live too, but if you feel that nice rumble, and for both too, again for both, because when you have that nice like crunch, that soft mid, and especially Seymour Duncan's can provide. Oh, dude, you're flying. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah. And is that kind of like your settings? Like we toning up the mids? I mean, what kind of what are you looking at? Talk to me.
So I use a couple of different settings. So I run through Mesa Boogie JP2C.
Mm.
If Are you an amp guy?
Here and there, kind
So
of.
the history with that, I take a lot of pride in owning that amp
Mm.
because that's the amp that I've always wanted. The Mesa Boogie JP2C is the reissue of the Mark 2C Plus from 1984.
Oh, okay.
And the Mark 2C Plus was, if it's not the Marshall JCM 800, this amp is next in line for the most legendary metal sound ever. It was
Mm.
used on Metallica's Master Puppets and Justice for All and the Black Album. It's
Mm.
been the JP2C is John Petrucci from Dream Theater.
Oh,
That's
that's
his
right. Yep.
signature.
Yeah.
He's used the Mark II C pluses on almost every Dream Theater album. And being a massive Metallica fan, when I was growing up and trying to find my guitar sound, I was like, man, I really want to get that fucking fat, beefy crunch tone. And
Yeah.
none of these other amps do that except for that amp. It's
Mhm.
only that particular model that does that. And at the time, they discontinued it, and I believe 86 or 87 to put out the Mark III,
Mhm.
and they never reissued it. And it was a very rare collector's item. And if you were to find it, it's $4,000.
Ha.
As a 17, 18-year-old, you already know that's not going to happen.
It ain't happening. It
It's
ain't
not going to
happening.
happen.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
So around the time I turned 18, Mesa, to my surprise, came out with an announcement that they were going to reissue the Mark II C Plus.
Oh, nice.
And I dropped out of high school to pursue music full time and work full time.
Mhm.
And my very first check I worked in construction for 2 years
Mhm.
with my father. And it was a very good learning experience. It was a lot of hard work, and it helped me get where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And with my first couple of checks, I bought the JP2C for $2,500.
Nice.
And the second I plugged into it, I was like, holy shit, this
Yeah.
is the sound I've been looking for
Yeah.
this whole time.
I know. See, it's funny. And some of our viewers and some of the people who are listening, they're like, I know that sound. I
Yeah,
know that feeling,
it's
man. Just
iconic.
it's
There's like
yeah.
when you plug in a Marshall JCM, you know what you're getting.
Oh yeah.
Plug in the Mesa Boogie 2C Plus, you know what you're getting. You know what sound that is.
Exactly.
It has a very distinct voicing. And coming back to the settings thing, my settings through recording are different than they are live, partly because in private use in recording, I cut the mids quite a bit to make it
interesting.
I try to go for a really big ambient sound, but live that doesn't work. So I completely change up the settings live, and I push the EQ a little bit harder, a little bit more mids, a little less bass, a little bit more drive. Don't make it as dry, you know, make it a little bit more alive, because I like, as much as I like thrash, I'm also huge into Van Halen.
Okay.
So that screaming guitar sound, that really, really
well, I mean, it's Eddie Van Halen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's the GOAT. He's one of the GOATs. Like, you know, and I think a lot of thrash guys take inspiration from him. You know what I mean? Like, dude, if you put Eruption into like any other fucking, you know, a Megadeth song, or it's gonna sound like it. You know what I mean? It's gonna sound pretty damn close. You know? Yeah. Well, especially like with Kurt. I mean, I when I heard the one solo when he's like tapping, right? I'm like, that's Van Halen influence, dude. I don't give it. Yeah, that's super. Total Van Halen. Yeah, so I got you, man. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, the Mesa Boogie is pretty much the pinnacle of my sound. I go through a Marshall 1960 4x12. It's the 1960A, the angled version, and that thing soars. It's never let me down. It sounded great in every application, in every release that we've used. I mean, in every release that we put out, both my rig, the Mesa Boogie, and the Marshall cabinet have been used.
Yeah.
On the Patriot, things sound a little different because the drummer that we had at the time was the guy that mixed and mastered the song.
Okay.
And he took out a lot of things that wasn't supposed to be taken out and replaced it. So that's why he's not in the band anymore.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, so that track didn't come out the way we intended it to, but that's basically the pinnacle of my sound is that boogie.
Nice, man. Nice. No, and hearing it in you guys, man, like even though if you were using something different, like you can tell you want your tone, right? You know, you still want the way you want to sound for Powerhouse, right? You know,
to me, like it, for being a listener and a guitar player, but this is before I even played guitar, that's what got me into it, was the sound of the guitar is usually what brings people in if the vocals don't start first. So like, regardless if it's Iron Maiden, if it's Black Sabbath, because Tony Iommi has a very signature sound when you hear his riffs.
We could do a whole episode on that. Yeah. We could do a whole episode on that tone alone, you know, and people have, you know, but yeah, I agree with you. You know,
like what makes the material sound out is the way that the guitar sounds.
Yeah.
So I figured it's very important to play good, and it's also very important to get the tone good.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
The tone can make or break the song sometimes. So
that's how I go about it. Yeah, no, I mean, you guys sound crystal clear, man. I like it. You guys sound like it's very punchy. It's very punchy. You know, you're like, that's what I'm going for. That's what I want. Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. I love how it comes in. You could hear it in the bass too. So thank you for that. You know, yeah, I was just gonna say that, man. So I'm like, so Metallica fan, I gotta ask you. We'll do Metallica first, but what's your top 3 Metallica albums? I gotta hear it from you.
It's very difficult for me to decide that because I'm a career-long Metallica fan.
I'm all Metallica. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see Metallica here next week for 2 nights.
Nice.
But when it comes to my top 3, Master Puppets #1, Ride the Lightning #2, and the Black Album #3.
Interesting. I was like, he's gonna say Kill 'Em All, and then he made a left turn and said, the Black Album
is a great album. I love it. I listen to it constantly, but when I think of Metallica, I don't necessarily think of Kill 'Em All, because Kill 'Em All was the ground zero, obviously, for Metallica and thrash, period.
Yeah.
But Metallica didn't really develop their sound until Ride the Lightning and Master.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you 110% with that one. I agree
Because
with
I
you.
mean, Dave was a large part of the writing process in Kill 'Em All. Kirk rewrote the solos, obviously, but the structures stayed the same. James was very early in his singing, and Lars was very early in his playing.
And
The
his
production,
chops.
yeah, production was a little iffy, but it sounds fucking awesome. But
Yeah.
when you go to Ride the Lightning and Master Puppets, the level of songwriting that changed from 83 to 84, it's insane. The
Yeah.
level that they were able to kick it up to. And to me, the Master Puppets and Ride the Lightning are the pinnacle of Metallica's legacy.
Of course. Yeah. Well, I mean, as soon as you hear Fight Fire with Fire, right?
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like that immediately, like, what, acoustic? What the fuck is this? Like, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And then they just said, no, listen, shh. And then they just
Mm.
slam it, they just go 100 miles an hour immediately, so yeah, no, I agree with you that the I don't want to say the progressive part, but they matured quickly.
Yeah.
They matured very, very quickly with that album, especially with Master Puppets. I think,
Mhm.
yeah, Master Puppets is, it's one of the goats, it's one of the best, but for me, of like, how different I think, to if they turned up the bass, and Justice for All would probably be the best one, right? Just
Yeah.
production wise, but I'm
Mhm.
looking at it as more as the emotion from
Right.
Injustice for All. You know what I mean? They just lost Cliff. They were
Really
on
die.
exactly. They were at the they were at the top. And then they get knocked down with his death and stuff, and then they were angry, they were mad, they were hungry. So that's why I like it so much. But I agree with you, man. Yeah.
Hey everybody, jumping in real quick just to let you know about today's sponsor, Metal and Iron. Are you a gym goer? Do you like listening to metal? Do you like lifting heavy? Well, Metal and Iron's got you covered with shirts and designs that are there to let people know that you're about the heavy lifestyle. None of this Gymshark shit, none of this Adidas, Nikes, nah, you're there to lift the heavy shit. So check it out. Use the code BEYONDHEAVY for 15% off and let them know Mayhem sent you.
But now, aside from Metallica,
Yeah.
top three guitarists of all time. What are your top three, man?
Okay. I'm gonna exclude James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett because they're gonna take the top two.
Like, okay. Yeah, all right.
Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, and George Lynch of Dokken.
Really? Okay, we a
Those
Lynch
three
fan.
those three guitar players, especially Dokken, when I first heard Under Lock and Key, that album, it's, to me, as much as good as that album is, it's a guitar player's album.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like George Lynch is in that category, like with the Steve Vais, like the
Yeah.
Joe Satrianis. You know what I mean?
Virtuoso.
He exactly. And again, fucking phenomenal guys. I have the Steve Vai DVD. You know what I mean? I love those guys, but after a while, it's like, okay, I want to listen to something
Yeah,
else. Yeah.
now listening to a bit more rhythm driven stuff,
Yeah.
like George Lynch and Randy Rhoads. As sad as it is, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Eddie Van Halen, but if Randy lived until 1990, I don't know if Eddie Van Halen would have been hailed as huge as he is.
Absolutely. You know what? I agree with you.
Because
That's a good, yeah.
he's great and he's an innovator. Nobody can take that away from him. But Randy Rhoads was right there.
Yeah.
Randy Rhoads was right there, and what hindered him was his death.
Yeah.
We don't know what could have been. We know what Van Halen was, but we don't know what could have been, because in reality, Randy was just getting started with the two first Ozzy albums.
Exactly. Well, not only that, but I mean, he's in that category with Cliff,
Yeah.
and those guys, like Jimi Hendrix, and like guys that didn't get to live to see another day, and we couldn't find out.
Yeah.
That's why, what would have happened if Cliff was still alive? What would have happened if Randy Rhoads was still alive? But we'll never know. But we got what we got.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Orion, which is one of the greatest songs ever written.
Right.
So
I agree
yeah.
that.
Yeah. One of the greatest, okay, top three. Okay, back to Metallica, top three Metallica songs.
Okay, Fade to Black is my #1 song of all time across any song.
Okay. Okay.
Battery, and reason being is because the verse after the solo is the reason why I named the band Powerhouse.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Circle of Destruction, Hammer Comes Crushing, Powerhouse of Energy.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
All
So if
right.
Metallica sees this, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to steal it, but it's so good.
Nah, they're happy with it. Yeah, they could afford it. Don't worry, they're fine.
And song 3 from Metallica, man, that's hard.
Yeah,
I would say
we getting beyond the heavy now.
I'd have to say Creeping Death.
Interesting.
So Fade to Black, Battery, and Creeping Death. Creeping Death because the Die by My Hand riff, a lot of people don't know unless you're a super mega fan, but people don't know that Kirk wrote that riff, that dun, 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 wrote that when he was 16, and it first appeared in an Exodus demo called Whipping Queen.
Okay.
And that's where it was first used before he got grabbed by Metallica. And that song has a special place in my heart because I remember being 16 and being like, one day, one of these riffs that I make is gonna be that riff for somebody.
Yeah.
And that's how it registered in my mind. So like whenever I hear Creeping Death, it brings me back to how I felt when I was 16 playing guitar.
Oh man, okay. You know, and it's funny because with when I hear Creeping Death, the studio version, I mean it's a great song, but one thing for sure, I always feel like they played it too slow.
A little bit, yeah.
I don't know, it's just me fucking with my head, but I'm like, they played it a little slow recording, but live, oh dude, when they play it live, it's like, you know,
especially from 85 to like 89, that song played fast.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, oh, okay, sounds better. So I don't, it's everybody's different on it, man. Everybody's kind of like choosing different threes and stuff like that. But
what's your favorite three?
My favorite, oh brother, shit, Orion.
Okay.
First and foremost, Orion. It has to go Blackened.
Okay.
I fucking love Blackened, dude. Just the way it's just the way it starts and the atmosphere that they make. And 3 has to be Battery too. It has to be Battery.
Good.
Yeah.
That acoustic intro.
It just gets me every time, dude. And just the riffs and what gets me more than anything is like watching Cliff play it on Cliff and Mall.
Yeah.
Like, and he's just like going ape shit. And I'm like, I want to do that. That's me. I want to, I want to be that guy. Yeah. That's that. So similar,
awesome.
right? Yeah, we're right there. But Fade to Black, number 4. That has to be number 4 to me. Yeah, man. Fade to Black is just it's a classic, dude. It's a beautiful song.
That's the whole reason why I even started to play guitar was because of that song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's funny because like I don't know if you've seen some of my stuff and my content. Like I'm always kind of like making fun, poking the bear with Metallica and stuff, But I mean, like, dude, I love Metallica, like, and I want to ask you because I'm more on the Megadeth camp though, right? From a Metallica fanboy. What are your thoughts on Megadeth, right? How do you feel? Talk to me.
I love Megadeth. Okay. I don't have anything against Megadeth. I like most of the albums. I just can't get into what's that album?
Risk? Is it Risk?
Yeah.
It's a couple people.
I tried, but I just can't. But what I say is what Metallica lacks, Megadeth has, and what Megadeth lacks, Metallica has.
So it's like this.
I go back and forth. People continuously make that argument like, oh, Dave, they should never kicked out Dave. Metallica would have been so much better, blah, blah, blah. But it's like
we got both now.
Yeah, now we have both. And the one thing that nobody could ever take from Dave Mustaine is the fact that that dude can play like a motherfucker 40 years later, and he can still play the leads, the rhythm, and sing. His singing skills may have taken a little bit of a dive age and touring aspect, but I mean that happens to all of them.
Yeah.
And like I like the fact that through the decades, Dave, because it's mainly Dave, has kept the grit from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's the songs almost never falter. People's complaints usually about Megadeth are, oh, it's the songs aren't different from the last songs, and it's like it's usually because I have a feeling that it's meant to be that way.
Yeah.
Like he's aiming for it to sound that way, and it's the same thing with Metallica. People go like, oh well, it's not as good as Master Puppets, and it's because they're not trying to write Master Puppets over again.
No. Because if they do, man, it's like, then why? Do you know what I mean? Then why? There's no need for it, man. It's like, dude, it's already, yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge Megadeth fan too. Like I actually met Marty Friedman several years ago, and he was awesome.
You lucky bastard.
Friedman is one of the best guitar players I've ever seen.
He's the one that he's in my collection of meeting all of them. The rest in peace. That he's the one I'm missing. That's the one.
Oh shit! So you met Lake Menza?
I met Menza. I met Menza the year before he passed away, man. And
wow.
Yeah, dude, he is a sweetheart, man. Awesome dude, man. Like, and I was wearing my Rest in Peace shirt, and he's like, hey, I was on that album. I was like, I know, dude, I know. He was like, hey, do you want me to sign something? I'm like, my firstborn child, yeah, go ahead.
My favorite Megadeth album is definitely Peace Sells, but Who's Buying, though.
Really?
About that album where it's just I think that year 86.
Yeah.
It's like the pinnacle. But
it was
Rain and Blood, Anthrax, fucking Megadeth and Metallica, they all released something that year.
Oh, it was magic.
Yeah, and all of it, like Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? The song itself is awesome. Bad Omen is awesome. All of the songs.
Oh, The Conjuring, dude. When I hear The Conjuring, I'm like, oh
Wake
God,
Up Dead. They're all great.
Oh man, Conjuring, dude. I was like, oh, dude, this is evil. Oh my God,
yeah.
like, what's happening?
Yeah.
No, but and it was funny because when I was hearing Megadeth, I was like, again, I was a Metallica fanboy. I was like, man, Dave Ellefson, he's not as good as Cliff. And then as you stop being stupid and grow up and mature, right? You're like, dude, Dave Ellefson is one of the greatest guitar or best bass players of all time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I met him too, and they're all great guys, dude. And I want to go on record as saying this, like, all the tabloids that we see, right, on the socials, and like they're feuding and blah, dude, fuck all that shit, fuck all that noise, dude. Like, they're all human beings, they're all amazing guys, they got families, leave them the fuck alone,
And it's the media doing it. It's usually not them. Usually, give a shit. It's the media that wants to circle that.
Exactly, because I remember when I met Dave, I was in line to see him, and then the guy before me, a couple guys before me, was like, "Oh, so what's up with you and James?" And he's like, "Dude, like seriously?" He's like, "Dude, he's got his family. I'm doing my thing." He's like, "Dude, we're still cool. It doesn't matter, man." He's like, "Why you gotta ask me that?" And he was like, "Why are you gonna spend 2 hours in line and ask me that stupid ass question?" And he's real, like he's real. Like I'm like, fuck. Okay, don't piss him off, like, And I was like, yeah, exactly. And I was like, dude, like, he's got a point, though. He's like, dude, why the fuck are you asking me this shit? Like, are you coming to see me or Metallica? And so when I went up there, I was just like, dude, I love you.
I know, man. That's how I'll feel if I ever meet James and Kirk. It's the same.
You will, brother. Just got to manifest it, man. You got to manifest it, dude. Yeah. But talk to me, Powerhouse. Where we're going? We gotta circle it back to you guys. What's the plans? What's coming up for the House of Power? That is Powerhouse.
We have a lot going on. Like I said, we just parted ways with our previous bassist, but since then things have really kicked up a notch, 1,000 notches, really.
Nice.
There's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that I can't say.
Ooh, not yet.
Okay. But what I will say is that we have a show coming up this coming Friday at this bar called Bonds Rock Bar in San Antonio, Texas. And we're opening for a Canadian thrash band or heavy metal band called Raider.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys got that. You got that show, man. Congrats, dude. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. Fuck yeah.
And we have a few new songs that we're working on, and at the end of the year we're going to give people a massive surprise that I don't think a lot of people have seen coming. It's a long time coming in my eyes because I've been doing this with this band for so long. But it's something that should have happened a long time ago, and it's finally happening now. And right now we're just kind of on the ride to make sure that when it hits hard and nobody's gonna forget it. And
so after I'm done hitting record, you're gonna tell me, right?
yeah,
Nice, nice, nice. For sure, brother. Well, that's good, man. That's good. So more things coming in the woodwork at the Powerhouse shop, right? If you could keep that one, that's yours. Powerhouse shop. That's got to be on a shirt now. But yeah, man.
and writing. That's where we're spending our time, is mainly writing and rehearsals.
Nice, nice. Oh, for sure, man. For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So where can they find you? What's what are the socials? Do we got merch? Talk to us real quick about that.
You can find us on pretty much any and all social media. We have Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube. If you go to our Instagram, which is Powerhouse Metal Official, I'm sorry, it's Powerhouse Official Metal. My bad.
He went this way.
Yeah. But our link tree has all of our socials listed. We have Spotify, Bandcamp, YouTube, all of the good stuff. We're gaining quite a bit of traction on Spotify at the moment. So our focus is trying to promote as much as possible and do as many new challenging and new things as we can, so that when we finally release our big news, that it doesn't fall on deaf ears. So you can find us anywhere and everywhere. When it comes to merch, we are currently all sold out of these shirts, by the way.
Ah, damn it. Okay.
Most of our merchandise, we do have 4 different patches available. They're all of the logo, just different colors. We have stickers available. And right now we have an order of artwork patches that's going to be coming through soon. So as soon as those hit, you'll see it on our socials. But that's pretty much what we got right now.
Nice, Nico. Yeah, so Powerhouse is grooving, man. That's what's up. Definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. I love it. Congrats on that Raider bill, man. That's awesome, man. I saw that. I was like, oh fuck, I forgot to ask about that. But that's awesome, dude. You guys scored that. That's cool, man. Yeah. But anything else that you want to say before we hit stop?
If there's anything I can say, I want to just take a second to say to anybody who's listening that if you have something that you're set on doing, do it. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Only you can tell you that you can't do it. It's up to you. And regardless of what it is, it doesn't matter what it is in any area of your life. If you just put your mind to it and do the hard work, you can do it.
Boom. There it is. Absolutely. Yep. That's where Powerhouse and Berlin Engine meet eye to eye on that.